Hey there, I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Jackie.
And welcome to Slightly Unsupervised. We're best friends, business partners, and the chaos behind Bestimony, a ceremony we created to celebrate the kind of soulmates who don't come with a marriage license.
This podcast is all about that friendship energy, the deep stuff, the messy stuff, and the laugh till you snort stuff.
So whether you're driving, folding laundry, or hiding in your car for some peace and quiet,
you're in good company. Let's get slightly unsupervised. So today, we are going to talk about the lonely season, what it feels like to be without friends. No one talks about this enough. It's the quiet ache of having no one to call, no texts lighting up your phone, no plans to look forward to. In this episode of Slightly Unsupervised, Jennifer and I will open up about what it feels like to be isolated and friendless, how women end up there without even realizing it, and why it's never too late to rebuild connection. Because loneliness doesn't mean you're broken. It means your heart is still longing for the connection you were made for.
absolutely. So, this is a good one for Jackie and I to talk about. We have different views on this, and we'll talk about each view. My view is I'm not isolated, but I moved to Tennessee, and the other four of you remain in California. And even when I was in California, though, I was in a different part of California, which wasn't necessarily right next to you guys anyhow, but even more so. And now I'm in Tennessee. So it's not like if I do want to come down for the weekend, I can, because it's a whole process and I own my own business. And there's variables there now that are even more isolating for me. So I took a job. I didn't take a job. I moved and bought a chapel. But when something like that happens, I know that I've had some besties at the chapel recently for some testimonies, and just the last group that was there, the girls, one of them left the state they were in and moved for a lot of reasons, I think for family and also for the cost of living. And so she was in another state from a bestie and had been with her for many, many years. And they were feeling the distance that happens when you are in two different states and two different places. And so they were just so excited to be together again. And they went and did a bestimony, and they, just to make sure that the other one knew that no matter what the distance was, that they were always just going to be best friends. And it just was really, something they wanted to do just to make sure that, each of them felt comfortable with that. But they were sort of having that issue as well. So I can kind of relate to that as I have moved. And Jackie has a whole different type of view that I'll let you tell your side of that, Jackie. I'd kind of give what I'll be looking at it from.
My isolation was my first marriage. My ex, of course, I worked and everything when we first met, and I had my freedom and could do my things. But when I started having children, that's where the control really took over, because I stopped working to be a stay-home mom. And so everything was controlled. And he definitely liked to isolate me from my friends. I had made a few friends of, mom friends, but they weren't like having you guys, your best friends.
Right.
They were there, but they were also like one that I had. As soon as he got home, she left. She couldn't handle his mood or however he would act. So that was a little like where you guys, if you were there, wouldn't have done that. You'd just be like, I could see you, Jen. Knock it off. We're going. She's leaving with me. But anyway.
Well, I think
so that was my story, and I let that happen too. I know that,
yeah.
But and I would say family wise, he kind of did that too. Like, let's say certain things we wanted to do with family, like with my family, I did a lot by myself with them. Or if I did there was a few times I would get my big girl panties on, and I'd go meet friends somewhere, but it would only be with me and my kids, and he wouldn't be there.
Right.
So it never felt the same. If he was gone, then people could come.
Times, but he wasn't there. And that was later on. That was towards the end of your relationship with him than it was in the beginning of that. So yeah, you definitely got isolated.
So there's different ways to be isolated, definitely.
Yeah.
And I feel isolated.
We're trying to just touch base on both of them so that you can get a grip that it's not just one isolation. It's isolation in various ways, and that any isolation
you can have a family. Yeah, you can have a family, a job, a house, and still feel completely alone.
Yeah,
for sure.
Exactly. I think there's something about the touching base with your friends that reminds you that who you are. Like, we get in these processes of living, and we become wives, and we become, we work for people, and we get in these situations where our lives have changed. And then there's this whole group of people, at least in our case, that remind us that who we used to be. Like, if we didn't have that, it'd be really hard to convince people of the life we had. And interestingly, I had dinner with my husband on Friday night. I think we went somewhere. We went some Italian place and we were eating and he was talking about something, listening to our podcast or something. And because he can hear him downstairs while we're up here podcasting. So he said that he's touching base on it. He's like, you guys talk about your childhood a lot. And I was like, yeah, we do. And it's because it's therapy for us. I go, if I didn't have somebody in my world to reflect back to where I came from and where I'm from and why I act the way I do sometimes, or the things that I have done in a way that if you guys weren't there to say, yeah, yeah, that's the way it went. Like, do I remember that well? Did that happen? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like some of us need that.
Start
And I think
second
that,
guessing your yeah.
yeah, am I right about that? Did that happen? Like, because I think
Mhm.
we forget to remember, we forget a lot of things because it got where it was pretty normal, and so I'm like, "Yeah, we do," and there's no apologies about that because for us, it's important to do that. It makes you feel seen, and that's part of this, connection of people, of your best friends, and this idea that they're more than just a person in your life. They're a connection to a lot of things that are prior to, your current marriage or your current family or your current
Mhm.
like, it's like a dip back into getting to look back to where you came from and why you evolved, and, even if it's not just your friendship, it could be just these best friends have been around for previous relationships, and you may have, like, weird things you do in your relationship
Mhm.
now and be like, "Oh, yeah, that's because of so and so," or whatever. They're just a great back source to making you feel like you've been seen your whole life, right? That's kind of it, like,
Mhm.
someone's watched me grow and seen my evolving, and
And in my part of it too, this was many, many years ago. So it wasn't like it is now. Like we could sit and text each other. Back then we
right,
had to call each other on the phone.
I did.
I didn't have a cell phone. I was probably the last one. I remember my kids and my nieces asking why I was the only one that didn't have a cell phone.
Well, how old were you when you
And I
finally
mean,
got one?
goodness, my kids were older. They could ask why I don't have one and everybody else had one. So I would say they were probably like 5, maybe 6 and 4, something like that. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you have a cell phone
So,
though? They were just, they weren't popular, or
just never no, just never got one, or I guess he just didn't think I needed one because I was usually home, there was a house phone then.
uh,
So, it was like
yeah,
he
that's
just didn't get me one, and it
yeah,
wouldn't have been something that I went out and got myself. I didn't know enough about 'em, because I know, like, my sister-in-law had one, and they all got 'em through the business, and then I finally got one, which was like, "Cool, alright, that's probably a good idea," I drive with your children all the time, and if there's an emergency
such classic
I know.
control of your life. I mean, honestly,
Exactly.
get you a damn phone.
Yeah. But it would've been a lot different. Yeah. I mean, I would've that would've been nice to been able to text you guys back then without, being on the
Yeah,
phone or trying to call. Because we all worked. I mean, like, you guys worked and everybody was all over the place. It's hard to connect, and if I went to call you guys, most of the time you wouldn't be home during the day when I was home when I could talk because he wasn't there.
right. two
So,
different
like, then the
super
evening comes,
schedules.
he's home, then it'd be like, "Well, what are you doing?" I'm supposed to be
Right,
making dinner, getting the kids ready for the next day, da 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 da, and all that.
right. So you were stuck. Yeah, I mean, it's lonely. I mean, there's a difference of, being alone and then just being kinda lonely. Like, I'm
Mhm.
alone. Alone's okay. I feel like alone is okay, but lonely is like, I miss my friends too. Like, I don't have, like, I know when I lived in California, I'd be like, "Well, let's do something in, like, 2 weeks. I'll come down or whatever, or you'll come up or whatever," and you can see your friends. Like, it's a connection of I see you every week basically now because we get on these podcasting days, we see each other.
Podcasts,
But there's a difference
which is nice.
between, yeah, but then like getting together, and like when we go to Vegas or we're like together for a few
Mhm.
days, it's like it's a real connection. It's like, we eat together, we're sleeping together, we're getting up together, we're hanging out at the casinos together, we're doing things, we're just getting to act how we would
Mhm.
normally act. We working, but we're also having fun. So for me, it's like that's the connection that I miss is just my friends. Like even you girls, you guys get together once in a while and go, get something to eat or see each other or do whatever. So you get
Mhm.
kind of that connection, and it's important to have, don't you think?
Definitely. I think when we start getting together, we should just, set up a computer and have you there on FaceTime, pretend like you're with us.
Get myself a
Like when we
beer.
do the Valentine's dinner. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
set up the camera or the computer, you're gonna have a seat, and so whenever you can come in to say hi to us while we're got the hibachi, you can come
Yeah, right? Be like, have my own
Yeah.
beer, have my own glass of champagne, be
Well,
like, "Hey, girls, what's up?"
yeah, we'll
So,
figure it out. We'll try to
yeah.
figure it out.
If you've been listening to
Oh.
our podcast, Jackie's been waiting for the confirmations for her Valentine's Day, and they have come through. Jackie's Valentine's Day
Woot
is
woot.
on full she's got full RSVP, so it was a good week for
I'm
her for
so
that,
excited.
so Um,
Very
yeah, I
good.
think that, people lose friendships too, like, I wanna touch base on that. I mean, Jackie and I have been full disclosing that we were not friends for but 15 years of our lives, and I think that's episode 2 if you need to
Due to
go back.
marriage and yeah.
Yeah, but we're not the only people
Mhm.
that this has happened to, so I imagine, if you've lost friendships through just life shifts, your marriages, divorces, moving, kids' careers, you've lost track of some of these people and you feel pretty lonely. It's a
Mhm.
beautiful thing about today's day and age because this could happen very easily in our day and age because you could have lost their phone number. You didn't know where they went.
Mhm.
They moved. They, relocated to a place or they had one phone number and they changed their phone number and you don't know the phone number and you don't know how to get a hold of them. In today's world, it's so much easier to find these people that you may have been connected to because there's so many avenues to find them now, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I just remember back when we started doing I think our 10th reunion for high school, trying to find people back then. We didn't
Yeah.
have all this. I mean, now we can find anybody we want.
Right.
You can reach out and somebody knows where that person's at or can
Right.
get a
Right.
hold of them. But I remember how hard that was. You're just reaching out to everybody. You have to hand call everybody, we were sending out tons of mail too to try to get responses from people and you get all these returns. And it's like, now who do I get a hold of? 'Cause I didn't have the phone numbers for everybody. We
Yeah.
don't at 10 years after high school, that's not
Right.
everybody's
We could
moved,
flip
everybody's
open
somewhere else.
we could flip open our Chrissy and I did that once. We flipped open my, yearbook and we just everybody wrote "keep in touch" and they put their phone number in there and we would call everybody. One summer we called them all. We're like, "Hey, just keeping in touch." And they're like, "Okay." Like, it's the weirdest conversation. People are
Good
like
for you guys. In case somebody was lonely or
they're like, "Who
we're here
this is
for you.
Jen." I know. "This is Jen and Chrissy. It says here keep in touch. We're just calling." They're like, "Okay."
And keep in mind, everybody, that's a rotary phones that they're so you needed 2 phones to talk.
We did it though, but I can imagine in the 10-year reunion, we could do the same thing. We could have pulled our old yearbooks out and at least tried to find their parents and been like, "Hey, are you still up here?"
That's
Because
what we would do, yeah.
yeah,
We'd send the save the date or trying to find people and send it to their parents first, the address that we would have, and then went on, but, I mean,
yeah,
nowadays, I could find everybody,
yeah.
but
Somebody knows
I'm o
somebody who knows somebody. Yeah. It's
I'm
true
overdoing
though.
that, I see who I wanna see now.
Right.
It's a
Now
lot of
you don't
work.
wanna find everybody. You're like, we'll find you when we need you." I mean, we have a pretty good class. We were small, so we were very, very close to each other, but yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's not easy
To a
as
lot.
an adult to make new friends. So, there's so many ways to reach out to people and to find people and to maybe get yourself out of this self-protected, I don't need anybody mode that we get into sometimes when we get lonely. And can't can't stress enough that as you get older, you definitely need your friends. I think they're important to have because life's going to start changing for all of us, and having some navigation around us besides just our current family and our current situation is always good because you don't know what you're going to need as you get older and how important that support system becomes. I know a lot of women that
Mhm,
I hear a lot of women actually that say, "Oh, I don't have any friends because I'm on like all these friend chats or whatever that are on Facebook groups or whatever because I am in the
mhm.
business of best friends and stuff. So I follow some of that stuff, but I read a lot about it. I was like, I didn't like women then and I don't like women now and I don't get along with them and they're so catty. And I feel bad for people who say that because
I was
it's
just
like,
gonna say that, and that's so sad that they haven't been able to
yeah,
find somebody.
it's a cover up for you didn't get the best friend that for me, I feel bad for them because I'm like, "Oh, you didn't find a best friend in life. You maybe
Mhm.
you tried earlier and you just don't get along with women, or, they have excuses about why they're not with women, or they don't like women, or women are bad. And I'm like, I don't have that opinion at all. I feel like women are like a sisterhood. Like, for us, especially us
Mhm.
group, our group of friends and five, none of us have a sister, or at least one we didn't grow up with. So we are each other's sisters,
Mhm.
really. I mean, it's interesting that
Yes, true.
five of us that remain really good friends are sisterless.
Mhm.
Like, nobody has a sister.
Definitely.
So,
Yep.
it's like having a sister, it's having a best friend, it's having someone to talk to, it's having somebody to bounce something off of. You can get very isolated and lonely. And I know, especially when you were in that situation, Jackie, you had nobody to help you navigate what was right and wrong. You got isolated into thinking that was the role that you were meant to play. Like, you were meant to be isolated from everybody,
Mhm.
and you had nowhere to turn to even see if that was the truth, right? Like, you could get
Right. It
yourself
was lonely. I remember. And I mean, until I got out of it, like you said, I just felt that's what I was supposed to be doing. Like this is what it is.
right,
But I was a very very unhappy and lonely, and because it was, I was isolated with his family too. That's all that we did things with.
right, because it
And
controlled the
that's a different
environment.
thing too. You can't complain. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, you
certain
can't
things you want
complain
to talk
about
about or
your
complain about.
husband or your situation because it goes right back to him, right? So, and that's not
Mhm.
complaining. We people don't complain about. I wanna take that out of the word because it's like complaining is a bad word, but you need someone to bounce a thought off of that isn't necessarily just your spouse, because 'cause you're going to run around into the same circle. It's gonna be the same results all the time
Mhm.
because that's a process of how you function together and stuff. So, you get the same response all the time from somebody once you've kind of, looked for a solution on something. Your husband will give you the same solution over and over again, and then it gets frustrating,
Or
right?
stop. Or stops giving anything. We've
Just
talked
shut
about
you up.
that. They're just like, "Alright, I've heard this side. Just fix it."
So for all you
Uh,
lonely girls who may be listening to this that don't need women and don't need a friend, beg to differ. I think that maybe you've put yourself in that situation, or you've thought that way, and that if you reach out and had some friends that you once had, or even meet new friends, but open your heart and open your mind up to the idea that there's a lot of great women out there, and there's a lot of people that need friends, and they're looking just like you are, and there's got to be a way to connect these people together that you know can put you back in a place
that's
where you don't so lonely.
a movie Mark and I just, watched this weekend, a series. We finished it. We started last week. It's called, It's Her Fault.
It's
I
her fault.
think it's on on Peacock, I believe. It's all her
What's it
fault.
about?
And there's two women that in it, they're it's kinda like like when I was in the PTA and, they're trying to get you to go in and do all this stuff and all these other moms around you, you're just like, "Okay, I have nothing in common with you."
Right,
But,
right,
you're around people. But
right,
then you have these 2 moms that literally don't know, like, don't have a friend. Like, the one actually says in it, "I don't have any friends." Like,
right,
and by the end, they are best friends.
right,
Like, they found
right.
that they had a lot more in common with each other, and they needed each other, and yeah, it's
So
an
did they
interesting
both
it's a
not?
if no one's seen it, it's a crazy it's really good.
So did they both
It's
not have
called
friends, or just one of them didn't have friends?
No, both of them.
Oh, okay.
They're like workaholics and just never clicked with any, the mom type things, and then all of a
Right,
sudden they met up by going to a class meeting with all the parents, because you have that one mom that's organizing everything and wants everybody part of everything, so she's bringing
right.
everyone in.
That's you.
And through them, these little catty ones, these 2 became friends. But
I see.
it's kinda what we're talking about. So if you watch it, Jen, you should really, I advise. It's a really good series. It's quick. It's only
Okay.
8 episodes, I think, total, but it's really
Oh,
good. But it is about
that's like
friendship
one
and how the
afternoon.
one's like, yeah. But it is. It's about someone that she's like, "I just don't have friends," and yeah, same kinda thing, and then by the end, they're like best friends. It's
There
really
you
cool.
go. So there's a movie out there if you guys are looking for some inspiration, but, you know,
Mhm.
I'm sure there's some of you that just think women are the horrible and you can't get around them, and, you don't want them around you, and maybe you have your own backstory and you have your own traumas from that, and I get it. But some of you are just convincing yourselves. The ones that are convincing themselves
Mhm.
that they really don't need a friend, maybe this is something that, if you have a connection with somebody,
You
or
need
just
yeah.
yeah, it's okay to reach out.
It's okay to admit that you miss having a friend. It's
Yeah.
okay.
it's okay. And it's okay that I'm hundreds of miles away from my friends now, and it's okay for me to say it is isolating to be here
Mhm.
when you all are there and getting to do what you want to do together, and I get to skip out almost all of it really because I
I know, and we
moved and
miss you.
yeah, so it's good to have connection. It's okay to feel like you don't have that and reach out, do podcasts with your best friend, honestly. I mean, if you wanna get connected with somebody, just podcast with them all day, like, every week, so all right, well, let's move on to the bestie rapid questions, Jackie, you ready?
I'm
Who's more
ready.
likely to isolate when they're struggling? Probably both of us, don't you think?
Uh, yeah, I could do that,
I can
but,
do it too.
till I finally just need yeah, you know me. Everything just builds up in me till I do something about it.
Until you
So,
break.
yeah,
Until
yep.
you break,
What's
and
the
then you're
first yeah, exactly, and then I'm good again. I just need a
yeah.
little bit of time. I just need to talk to you. What's the first sign your bestie might be withdrawing?
Slow to respond, normal patterns of how you behave, and then just the
True.
noticing of it, you know what I mean? Or short
Mhm.
answers sometimes when you're like,
Mhm.
probably you would be answering that
Well,
more
with
with
you, short answers could be because you're working or you got a
yeah, that's true.
wedding, but I can kinda look at your schedule and get an idea if you, "Oh, hey, she does not have a wedding right now."
Yeah, Jackie
That
has
you
the
might
benefit of spying on my life. She can get in and look at my schedule, and she's like, "She's busy today." So, if I'm being short and there's no weddings, then Jackie's like, "What's up?"
so
It's kinda
funny.
like a detective game with me, so anyways, alright, who
Mhm,
reaches out first when there's silence between you? It just depends on who feels the silence. If you feel like you did something maybe or you had a weird conversation and then there's some silence, I'd probably be like, "Hey, we're good," and I'd reach out and, like, move beyond it. I wouldn't get
mhm,
stuck in it necessarily. It would just be like, we're the age where we just don't get that offended anymore. We've been through enough to know
mm-mm,
that we're gonna be with each other no matter what, so you just kinda move past it. But I could see that if you thought you did something that upset me, you'd probably reach out a little bit more, same vice versa. I think that's how it would work, don't
right,
you?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, what's the text that always pulls you out of a funk?
Just
I
friendship
think
stuff.
it's I think it's not just a text, I think more of the little videos or the little,
Me
what do you call emoji things, whatever.
the memes
You
between
know?
us
The
are yeah.
memes, yeah. Those are always good. Those could get me laughing, like, all of a sudden,
Yeah, it takes
because we find
the
some good ones, definitely.
yeah. Some ones where they're, where it makes
Mhm,
us remind us that we're pretty much, can be little bitches behind the scenes, and then we feel better. We're like, "Yeah, yeah, that's right. We would get returned if we got kidnapped, and these are the reasons why, because those are always good ones for us too, right? Alright, who's the better
exactly.
comforter, words or action? I'm pretty good with words, I would
Yeah,
imagine. I think you're a better comforter with action, don't you? I'll do something for
yeah,
you.
definitely.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think that
Yeah, because my words just go on forever, and they don't, ever end, and they don't land.
right on the plane, Jackie. You trying to get out of here.
That's our little inside joke, that's Jackie. "Okay, Jackie, let's land this." That's so funny.
Sometimes when I cut Jackie off, it's because I think she's circling the problem too long. Like, what she's trying to say here is this, and then we move on. So it's just kind of a joke between us.
That's
So I think it's funny too.
It's good,
Anyways, all
though.
right.
I understand, I don't take it personally, I'm good with it. It's me, I'm not as good with my words.
Yeah,
I know what I'm thinking, I just can't put it out there
I
sometimes.
know. Sometimes I'm like, I know what you're
Yeah,
trying to say, and here's what she's trying to say, and let's move on.
I appreciate that.
Sure.
Who's more likely to overthink a friendship issue? Me.
You. Yeah.
I overthink a lot, yes.
Yeah. You have more
I
anxiety,
try
or
to
you.
turn that off, but it's really hard.
It is. I know. Also,
That's
because
definitely me.
I think for you too, like I'm more like in your face, like I'll just say it and move on. But like for you, you do that a little bit in life. Like you try to sidestep things a little bit. So I think for you, honestly, is probably you are like, that's what she's saying, but here's what she's meaning. Because in your world,
Mhm.
sometimes that's how you are. So you think everybody's like
Yep.
that, where I'm just like, F you, bye, good night, and move on. And I think that's why you overthink things. Because you're like, I know what she
Yep,
says, but I
probably.
know what she's really thinking kinda thing. Don't you think that's true?
Yes, I believe. Yes, definitely. I'm not in denial at all anymore.
I know, right?
I'll admit it. Yep. Okay, what's the weirdest way you've ever met a friend?
I have a good one.
We
So,
met
my,
what?
my stepdaughter, was dating this boy, and they were at our house, and they'd go to his house or whatever, and so one day I ran downstairs or something. I cut my hair or something. I was, like, freaking out and just kind of going crazy or whatever, and I think that they just were like, "Our moms would be really good friends, like, they're kinda weird." That's what they said. Wasn't
Mhm.
weird, we were just kind of like, like, full of emotions, I guess, and so
Mhm.
I think what they did is they got us a they did, they bought us a thing at Christmas, like a paint party, wine paint thing where you go to have a glass of wine and
Uh-huh.
paint, and they
Yep.
bought it, and they gave one to her and one to me, and they told us to go together, so we did, and then now we're still friends, like, we ended up being really good friends, and we did have kind of that connection, and they broke up, and then it got awkward because it was like, are we still friends? Because we're friends now,
Oh,
and they're separate from them, so it kind of got weird, but she's one of my good friends, and we're still friends from it. Do you have any weird ways that
yeah.
you, met a friend?
We just meet people. You know me, I can meet people anywhere, like a friend. Not a good
That's cool.
friend, but a friend that I do things with. I swear anything me and my husband do, we end up meeting somebody
You do.
or, you know,
You know what I was
we
just thinking
do.
about is your friend that you met on the airplane to Mexico that you're friends with. I'm friends with her too, actually,
Oh, yeah.
so, yeah,
Yep.
it's
Yep.
kind of a weird
Yep. We're
what
going for
happened?
a wedding with a whole 'nother group of people. And we were just on the plane together and started talking, and, oh, that was the best plane flight. It was so funny. Everybody else had, like, the worst plane flights down there, and we went, like, a bit earlier to have a little more of a vacation for before the wedding,
Right.
and, we met the airline actually paid for all of our drinks on the way down. They were like, "The drinks are on us." We're like, "Yes!"
Why? Was there
And
anything
that's
wrong
how
with
we
the
met,
flight?
all having free drinks. No, everything was fine. It was just they were just a really good, like, crew, and everybody was just in a good mood, and it just all was great, and then they were staying at the same hotel as us, and then we met at the pool, and we did dinner, and so we had this group of friends, and the group was coming in for the wedding,
Oh, how
and
funny.
then when we came back home, they were from California, so we hung out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Went
I'm friends with her too.
camping with
Yeah.
them, and Jen met her, yep, we went to Ve
Yep.
she went to Vegas with us on one of our girls' trips
Yeah.
on my birthday.
We share friends, everybody. We find friends, and
Mhm,
then we bring them into the group, and then we're like, "Oh, yeah, you're friends with her too," like, I think the person I think about all the time is my friend Stephanie, and,
mhm.
she was my childhood best friend, and then I moved to the mountains where everybody was at, so she was my friend then, but she was always my friend. She's always been my friend. She's always gonna be my friend, but
Yeah.
everybody has a story
We
with
got
my friend Stephanie, right? We had
some
some wild
crazy
stories with
ones.
my friend Stephanie. But all my friends know her. Everybody's been around her. She showed up at our prom one time. It was a totally weird thing, but yeah, we tend to share friends, and I like that because Michelle's the same thing. Like Michelle's friends are our friends too. Chrissy's friends, who's ever friend,
Mhm.
because I do believe that once one of us likes somebody or is friends with somebody, that we almost guarantee the rest of us will like them too, because we know that they wouldn't like them if they weren't the kind of people that we like. You know what I mean? Like we all kind of like the same people.
Exactly.
So, I think that's
Right.
funny. Alright, what's the one small
Yep.
thing that instantly makes you feel connected again?
I
Hanging
guess
out.
just getting together, just
Yeah,
talking, yeah, when we get into our conversations.
yeah. I
Yep,
think just hanging
definitely.
out, just getting back together and being in the same space or whatever, like, you know, I definitely think in the beginning of next year, we need to have a Vegas trip. I'd like to go and just it's a good central place for us to go and hang out, and it's you away from your
Mhm,
world and away from my world, and we can be together, and, we have this podcasting now, so we can podcast anywhere. So, but yeah, I think that just is a
mhm.
nice way to feel connected. I'd like for the other girls to go too. I haven't seen them in a while. I see you more often than I see them, but yeah,
Right. That would be good.
yeah.
Okay, one word your bestie makes you feel instead of lonely. One word your bestie makes you feel. One
See,
word makes you that's a good one.
yeah,
Heard.
heard.
Let's just go on that.
Seen, felt, heard, touched. I mean, we go through all the sensories,
Loved.
but not touched,
Alright.
but yeah. Alright, so anyway, so loneliness doesn't mean you're unlovable, it's just your soul asking for connection. One brave conversation, one friend, one honest truth at a time. That's how we find our way back.
There you go.
If this episode hit you in the feels or made you laugh way too hard, we consider that a win.
Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your ride or die.
And when you're ready to make your friendship official, book your bestimony at rhinestoneweddingchapel.com.
Because the best love stories don't always come with a ring.
We stick together, ride or die to the moon and
no amount of space could ever come between us two. And reuniting's like we never been apart, and every single time we're eye to eye and heart to heart. There's not enough words to describe what you mean to me. Through heartaches and ups and downs in this life, you've stayed right next to me. I vow to make you laugh till you cry and talk about everything under the moon. The definition of a best friend is you. Is you. And we'll keep dancing through the rain, forever connected. Same page, we're writing our story every day. We'll keep on growing, ever changing. There's not enough words to describe what you mean to me. Through heartaches and ups and downs in this life, you've stayed right next to me. I vow to make you laugh till you cry and talk about everything under the moon. The definition of a best friend is you. Is you. Is you. Love, trust, that's us. Loyalty, you and me. Love, trust.